We called the FBI. I've met with the FBI twice today. Yeah, I talked to him this morning, but then we just had an office full of FBI agents in here. So we will immediately go after you, guns a-blazing, with the FBI and whoever else we need to get.
Dana White has finally broken his silence. Following the FBI's official launch of an investigation into the UFC over alleged fight fixing.
My friend Dana White and the UFC are being investigated by the FBI for allegedly fixing over 100 fights.
100!
With the latest one over the weekend, that was incredibly suspicious. I mean, wow. Is anybody really surprised?
Hell no!
No.
Told you, all he wants is our money.
Ariel Helwani, who is the voice of MMA, spent the last few days digging deeper into this matter.
And my understanding is that this is not an isolated incident. And what I mean by that is I have talked to multiple people who have either experienced or know of others who experience situations where they have been approached about their willingness to do something like this. So I have been told by multiple people that they have been approached, they have been talked to and said, are you interested in this? Are you interested in throwing a fight for X amount of dollars?
I've been trying to tell you guys, these TKO guys are scumbags. And now they're trying to change the Muhammad Ali Act to boxers over. Get the out of our sport.
Now get the out of here.
Everything you touch turns to absolute
He's everywhere!
And now you have the FBI crawling up your ass? Good luck. I mean, look, is there any young boxer who is crazy enough to their careers by signing with your league?
No.
They want their own rules. They want their own belt, their own ring, their own sanction to do exactly what they've done with the UFC.
It's all a fugazi.
Which landed them a $400 million suit from former fighters and now a federal investigation into illegal activity.
We just had an office full of FBI agents in here.
I mean, we'll see how that pans out. Dana's shirt is definitely stressed at
The MMA world is in shock. This all began after suspicious betting patterns emerged ahead of the Isaac Dolgaren versus Yadir Delvier fight at UFC Vegas 110. Suddenly, the odds shifted dramatically in Delvier's favor. And just hours later, Dolgaren, the heavy favorite, was finished in the first round. Fans immediately sensed that something wasn't right.
Still working to confirm that it sounds like the feds are moving in to audit Herzog's fights. Now, in my opinion, aside from what this guy's fucking saying, this guy's crazy. Might be right though. Time will tell. But this got loads of views. 7.7. Ariel even quoted this as well, and kind of doubled up on this. Ariel's involved, and Ariel's careful not to get himself. You know, he does this, so he's gonna be careful not to get himself in any deep waters here or any troubling waters with this situation. And I don't know how you could know that Herzog himself is involved. So people are now bringing up, dude, see Herzog's stoppage in Cannonier versus Imavov. I don't know how this guy knows. Listen, if this guy is an FBI plant, maybe. But I have no idea how someone could possibly know that the federal regulator have flagged over 100 UFC fights and including 2 fighters from the last.
My understanding is this is on the FBI's radar. How deep of an investigation is unclear at this time. This is all very new, but yes, it is accurate. I believe there's a gentleman named Harry Mack on social media who is having a nice little victory tour after all of this, and I'm sure he's going to have another one. I'm not familiar with his work, but he did write that yesterday. And so that is my understanding. And my understanding is that this is not an isolated incident. And what I mean by that is I have talked to multiple people who have either experienced or know of others who experience situations where they have been approached about their willingness to do something like this. So I have been told by multiple people that they have been approached, they have been talked to and said, are you interested in this? Are you interested in throwing a fight for X amount of dollars? Believe that's what happened with Darrick Minner. And all signs right now are pointing to something of that sort happening here. This is a massive issue for the UFC. And when you consider, now I haven't been told this part that I'm about to say, when you consider the
last card, and this went from there's weird odds on Dolgarian versus Delval to this guy knows everything about it, okay? Which is gonna be, I wouldn't, if I did know everything about it, I wouldn't say I knew everything about it, guys. That's just my logic. I might be dumb, But I think I'm smart enough to know if I had all of this information, maybe I wouldn't be saying it, because then the question's going to turn on him and people are going to wonder, how the fuck do you know all of this? Which Ariel might not know about, and even the big names don't really know about, which is interesting. But apparently there was 2 more fighters on the last card. Delija versus Waldo. This is all making sense, dude. They did it intentionally to make Tom Aspinall look bad. This is the situation. Okay? Tom Aspinall was paid to take Cyril Gane into the second. This is just my hypothesis here, guys. That Tom Aspinall was paid to take Cyril Gane to the second round, and he just felt it was wrong to do this. Now, this is my hypothetical argument about this, and maybe I think, and I'm playing a character, but maybe he was paid to take Gane to the second.
Questionable refereeing as of late. You can't help, I said this last week, you can't help but let your mind go there as well, because there's no other possible explanation for some of the wacky stuff that we have seen as of late. And it's very easy to do. It's extremely easy to do. We've seen it. We've now seen it in broad daylight multiple times. And I think what is happening here, adding 1 + 1 + 1, I believe what is happening here is people are preying on lower level fighters who don't make a lot of money, who are in tough spots, who are fighting in the major leagues, and they're offering them a quick fix. They're not going to like the top dogs, but they're offering a quick fix to the lower level fighters. How prevalent is this? I can't tell you, but I've now heard it multiple occasions in my conversations over the past 24+ hours, saying, are you interested? And that's a huge problem. And so how big of a story this becomes remains to be seen. But this is happening in gyms, in private. This is a big story.
Many experts and insiders are now calling this situation possibly the biggest scandal in the history of the sport. High-profile commentators, including Joe Rogan, along with several analysts, are describing this as a major challenge for Dana White and the UFC leadership. The concern is serious. If the FBI uncovers any evidence of fight fixing, it could instantly damage the UFC's reputation and shake the trust fans have in the sport. The critical question looming over the UFC is whether this is merely a single, isolated incident, or if it represents the surface of a much larger hidden problem within the organization. Right now, the integrity of the UFC is under more intense scrutiny than ever before, with fans, fighters, and analysts alike watching closely for any new developments.
Going on with that fight, do we know anything? We didn't. So what we did was we called the fighter and his lawyer and said, what's going on? There's some weird action going on in your bet. Weird betting action going on in your fight. Are you injured? Do you owe anybody money? Has anybody approached you to, and the kid said, no, absolutely not. I'm going to kill this guy. And, so we said, okay. The fight plays out, and first round finish by rear naked choke. Literally, the first thing we did was call the FBI. So we called the FBI. I've met with the FBI twice today. So that's the whole thing. Now you see people out there talking, there's hundreds of fights under it. It's total bullshit. Total usual clickbait bullshit. IC360, our company, they monitor all of the betting. Like I said, they're the best in the business. There aren't hundreds of fights being investigated. All clickbait BS. So this company, IC360, which is the best bet monitoring company in the business, we've been with them for years, and we get a report after every single fight that we do. So for anybody out there that's clickbait saying, there's hundreds of fights, it's all bullshit. We've been with these guys for years. We take this very serious, and we're watching every single fight that happens in the UFC, from the first prelim to the main event. So when this did happen, a couple years ago, whenever it was, that investigation is still ongoing, and now will be a part of this investigation.
White says he personally contacted the FBI, demanding a full-scale investigation. If anyone is caught fixing fights, we'll be your worst enemy, he declared. His anger is understandable. Dolgarin trained at the same gym tied to the 2022 James Krause betting scandal, a controversy that nearly destroyed the UFC's reputation. But critics aren't fully convinced. Some fans argue that Dana is only acting now because the UFC's image is on the line, not necessarily out of a genuine commitment to integrity.